Things are gonna get crazy.
Most everyone's mad here.
Ho, ho, ho! No, I'm not imitating Santa. I'm just telling you my Christmas list. Welcome back, everybody, to AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. How are you all doing, everyone? Because, honestly, I've been doing a lot better, and I really do hope that you guys had a great week last week, because for me, let me tell you, even though the last episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast was excellent, it was just an absolute blast, and also just, again, very special thanks to Jax Blade for coming in for that episode. I really had a wonderful time with the dude, but unfortunately, right afterwards, I ended up getting a cold, and it really sucked. And I was also a little bit scared at the same time because, well, you probably have heard about the Omicron variant of COVID where it might have the similar symptoms as having a cold and stuff like that. So I did get tested, and thankfully it actually turned out to be negative. And right now I still have it just a little bit, but I am getting better. So all that to say that, yeah, I do have a little bit of a cold, but again, it is getting better, and hopefully I'll still have as much energy for this podcast that you guys all know and love. And by the way, there is also an announcement that I would like to make. Considering that the holidays are just around the corner, I just want to say right now that there will be no episode next week. Yes, I am going to be taking a holiday break next Monday, and this will also be an opportunity to give you guys a holiday break as well, so that you can go and spend a lot more time with things that are, well, not debatably, but what are obviously a lot more important, which includes spending time with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and especially with your presents. So I just want to give you all that time. So instead of just having the usual podcast again, we will all go and have a little bit of a break. And then coming back the week afterwards, which I believe will be January 3rd, that's when we are going to go and fully conclude 2021 with the annual top 5 animation news of the year. Yes, that's when we're going to go and fully count down the biggest animation news that has occurred in 2021. And let me tell you, it has been such a crazy year for animation news that there definitely will be a lot to go and talk about. All right, so with those announcements out of the way, I will do a little bit of a quick recap at the end of the episode, just to remind you all. Now, with that said and done, I would like to go and ask the chat wall, are you all ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it, folks. Are you ready? Let's see. Yes. There we go. Right there. People are already prepared. People are already set. So that's great to see. And with that said and done, I think it is now time that we shall get things started. And with our first story, this may not necessarily be animation related, but considering that this is probably one of the biggest movie news of the year, I think it really is worth talking about. Since what is possibly the biggest movie of the year has been released during the weekend, Spider-Man No Way Home, of course, we really do have to go and get into it because already, and well, predictably, it has set already some major records. And not just records in terms of COVID times, but even in general. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, like I said before, I know that I've been continuously repeating myself, But when it comes to Spider-Man No Way Home, I think it is safe to say that it was the most anticipated movie of the year. And this weekend was definitely some major proof of that. Not only did it receive major praise from both critics and audiences, in fact, if you see the reception and you see what people are saying about it, some people could argue that the reception and the amount of praise that this movie is getting is debatably just about the same as what Spider-Verse has received. Now, I don't know if it's up to the point where it will be sweeping awards, but then again, we will have to wait and see on that. But what I will be focusing on specifically is regarding the box office numbers, where on its opening weekend alone, actually, I would have to go and update that because it is a lot larger than you may think. In fact, let me just go and refresh to see if maybe, there we go. This is much bigger in terms of numbers right over here. Yes, Spider-Man No Way Home actually had a massive opening of $260 million. And that's just domestically, because worldwide, it actually also opened up with $600.8 million. And that is just for starters. So, of course, you can probably imagine right over here that already it has shot itself up as the highest grossing box office movie domestically. Man, I'm not really phrasing that correctly, but you guys do get what I mean. Already on its opening weekend, it has launched itself up at number one in terms of the domestic box office of 2021, already beating out what Shang-Chi did throughout the entire year. And this even includes all the other major movies, including Venom, Black Widow, F9, Eternals, No Time to Die, and many, many more. It's already that massively big. But the funny thing is, though, in terms of its opening weekend with the domestic box office, that means that it has already put itself up at number 2 of the highest box office opening domestically of all time. Not only did it shatter COVID records, but even just records in general. With the only movie that managed to beat it is Avengers Endgame, in which it has a grand opening of $357 million. So that pretty much means that No Way Home has managed to even surpass Infinity War, which has an opening of $257.6 million, as well as Star Wars The Force Awakens, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Jurassic World. So that's the big thing that I want to talk about right over here. The fact that Spider-Man No Way Home made a record-breaking opening. And I just want to go and state this right now that, believe it or not, I have not seen the movie, which actually does make me perfectly qualified to talk about the story. Now, I know some people might think that it's a little bit counterintuitive. How would I be perfect for this if I haven't seen it yet? Well, that is actually because if I haven't seen it, that means I cannot spoil it. So how could I give away spoilers when I haven't even seen the movie in the first place? All right, but in all seriousness, though, going back into this story, of course, yeah, like a part of it is kind of to be expected that, yeah, of course it's going to make some major numbers, but I will even say that even for me, I did not expect that it would go this big, especially in a year in which we haven't seen, at least like not even in 2021, but even in a little bit in 2020 in general, where we have not seen a movie make an opening that surpassed the $100 million mark. I believe there was Venom, Let There Be Carnage, that was actually pretty close to doing so, but it has yet to even happen. And in fact, I would even say the grand majority of movies in general have yet to even surpass $100 million domestically, or even just $100 million in general. So the fact that Spider-Man No Way Home has already opened up with $260 million on its opening, just like that, it's definitely astronomical, especially with globally starting out with 600 million. Like, even like even if this was released before COVID, like those are numbers that would be highly admired. Those are like truly amazing numbers. But then again, it is to be expected because of the amount of hype that was put into it. I was not exaggerating when I say that No Way Home was the most anticipated movie of 2021, because not only is this the latest edition of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but this is also related to Spider-Man, and this is technically the biggest Spider-Man movie yet that actually does confirm that there is a connection between the other movies that were released in the past, including the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man films, or the Mark Webb Spider-Man films technically, but you guys do get what I mean. Like that previous Spider-Man installment, now that's technically a part of the MCU with the introduction or like now starting to really get into the concept of the multiverse, as well as like the Amazing Spider-Man films also being in there, especially with the confirmation that we have seen the villains being attached to it with Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, or Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, or even Jamie Foxx's Electro. Like we're seeing those villains come back now fighting against the Tom Holland Spider-Man. So of course there really is that much anticipation, and that does cap into the nostalgia aspect of Spider-Man, where we do reminisce about the old times of like the previous Spider-Man movies now like being revived in a brand new way. So, and like you guys could probably imagine how like nostalgia can often play a major factor. Like when it works, it can really work out very, very well. Like it's one of the most powerful tools that Hollywood has right now. So, of course, like that is to be expected that it would be that big, but $260 million domestically big, that is honestly very shocking. But then again, there is one thing that I do want to comment about this, and one thing that I do feel like might be a little bit of a concern following forward. Like, yeah, it already had such a grand opening, but the big question will remain, though, will it continue to be big? And that is something that I honestly don't know, especially with how things are with the pandemic. Unfortunately, I think it is safe to say that right now we are witnessing a brand new wave that is going to be coming up, especially with the Omicron variant. And from there, we're probably going to see more and more places announce new restrictions, new guidelines, or even put back old guidelines that people would have to go and follow. And what is that going to mean for cinemas, and what is that going to mean for the movie? That we will have to wait and see, because there are some countries and there are some places that are a little bit more loose when it comes to COVID and how to handle the situation with guidelines, and there are some other places in which they are a lot more strict. Maybe this will mean that we're going to see cinemas impose mask mandates, or a lot more cinemas are going to be demanding vaccine mandates as well. That could be a very high possibility. And yeah, that could take a little bit of a blow on the box office number for Spider-Man No Way Home. Or worst case scenario, there could be some places that could just shut down cinemas altogether, so that like as part of like the guidelines that they would have to go and follow, cinemas would not be allowed to be open during that time, and we would only have to wait and see what else happens next. And I should know, because I'm in a place that actually does that. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of context, Quebec is one of the strictest places in Canada in terms of handling COVID. And we take pride in that as well, where not only is mask mandates practically everywhere, where it's pretty much at the point where you would not be allowed to go outside without wearing a mask, but also there are, well, okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but basically if you're going to go into a public place, then yeah, it is required that you have to go and wear a mask. And there are plenty of areas as well that do demand vaccine passports. And that is especially the case with cinemas, where when you would go and watch a movie on the big screen, of course, you got to go in, and before even buying a ticket, you have to go and present your vaccine passport. And no matter where you go, whether it be in the lobby or even watching the movie on the big screen, you have to go and wear your mask. But today, literally just hours before starting this, the Quebec government has actually announced that they are going to be closing down several places, which includes bars, gyms, casinos, spas, and yes, even cinemas. That they are fully closing them down, and they're just going to wait until things do get better with the Omicron variant and with the current pandemic, and see how things can go. Because Quebec, unfortunately, we just got hit hard, where the amount of numbers have been rising significantly. I think today alone we just got over 4,000 cases that has just been revealed, which is kind of concerning. But on top of that, I just want to say on a side note as well that for me personally, this is honestly very frustrating, because now my plans for the week have been pretty much botched up. And I'm just going to say this right now. I don't know if I'll be able to review Sing 2 anytime soon, because that movie is supposed to come out on Wednesday. And at this point, I don't really have any access at all to go and watch Sing 2. I can't cross the border, of course, because, well, that would just be too stupid. And I don't think border security would accept the excuse of, I just want to go to the US so that I could go and see Sing 2 so that I could review it for my YouTube channel. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly for sure with border security. And I don't think I could even go to Ontario to go and drive more than an hour away just to go and see a movie, and that does include traffic. And I think it would be a little bit too taboo that a Quebecer like myself would have to drive all the way to Ontario just to go and see a movie. And I think also even the people over there would raise an eyebrow and ask questions. I think it would be a little bit too taboo. So unfortunately, in my case right now, I will go make an announcement on my YouTube channel, with a post in the community section or something like that. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be reviewing Sing 2 anytime soon. And if I do review it, then I'll probably have to wait some time in I don't know, in the start of 2022, in January or February or something like that. Unfortunately, we would have to wait and see, which really freaking sucks. And I mean, I know it's just Sing 2. I mean, nobody is right now hyped up for it as much as people were for No Way Home. But still, though, it is, but still, at least for my plans in terms of my reviewing schedule and in terms of my work on my YouTube channel and stuff, it's just honestly very frustrating to deal with. But anyways, going back to Spider-Man No Way Home, yes, right now we are in a situation where numbers are on the rise in terms of cases, and unfortunately this does also include hospitalizations and deaths. I don't know what this means in the future for Spider-Man No Way Home if they can continue this success. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we will see Spider-Man No Way Home go in a similar path to what we have witnessed with Black Widow, where, yes, it did have a strong opening, but then following the weeks afterwards, it just significantly dropped. And in this case here, of course, it's not going to be the movie's fault. And I feel like by this point, for the cinemas who are open right now, they got to be extremely careful with what they do. Like I said before, this is probably the time that they would need to impose stricter rules with who they would go and let in terms of demanding for mask mandates and demanding for vaccine mandates as well, to make sure we can go and minimize the damage so that nobody would end up dying of COVID because they went to see No Way Home, or that they would get COVID in the first place. Because a true nightmare scenario for not just cinemas, but also for Sony Pictures and for Marvel and for Disney as well, is if there are headlines popping up that outbreaks are happening because people went to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. That would truly be a worst case scenario. And I'm just saying that right now, that is the reason why we have been seeing so many delays throughout 2020 and 2021, because nobody wants to have that headline be attached to their movie. And with the current situation with Spider-Man No Way Home, that, the chances of that having that headline seems a little bit likely if cinemas are not careful. So that's kind of the big thing. They need to be a lot more careful with how they do handle the situation, because if the announcement does occur that outbreaks are happening because of Spider-Man No Way Home, that means we are going to see a lot more lockdowns for cinemas, that a lot more cinemas are just going to be closing down because Spider-Man No Way Home kind of has ruined it for the start of 2022. And then we're just going to repeat the process of how things have started with the pandemic. Like, it's going to go back to like how things were with March and April, where there are no cinemas that are open whatsoever, and whatever was on the big screen, well, it has to go to digital if it wants to ever find any form of profitability or anything like that, which would be very much unfortunate. And that is kind of the big concern and the big question with how things are going. And I could tell you right now, like, probably Quebec is not the only place that ultimately decided to go and close down cinemas. And I'm sure there are probably some other places that could follow suit, which is going to significantly drop the numbers for Spider-Man No Way Home coming in the following weeks. So for now, it is going to be a big moment where we do have to wait and see with how other countries, how other states, and how other areas are going to be handling the pandemic. And I'm not saying, and this is not to go and discourage you from actually going to watch Spider-Man No Way Home. If you want to go see the movie and you have cinemas that are open that are showing Spider-Man No Way Home, then go ahead and do so. I'm not going to stop you. And in fact, like, if you want to go see it, go, man, do it. But the thing is right now is that we all have to play our part in order to be more careful, because, yeah, this is a situation where it is actually pretty scary. And I know that some people could argue that when it comes to the Omicron variant, it is actually a little, a lot of people are saying that it's not as bad as some of the other variants. It's not as bad as Delta, or as it's not as bad as when the virus was first discovered and stuff like that, which may be true, but we are still learning about what Omicron is. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we should let our guard down and we should, we should go and like do whatever we want. That doesn't mean like that at all, that we should still be very cautious about the virus. We should still do our part in order to stay safe, in order to wear our mask, practice social distancing, wash our hands, do all that kind of stuff, so that we could go and minimize the damage. And that's why I would love to see more cinemas actually do more vaccine mandates and more mask mandates, so that with vaccine mandates, it'll be less likely for people to actually die from the virus because they went to see No Way Home. And if everybody is wearing a mask, that makes it far less likely for the virus to go and spread, thus really minimizing the damage. And if we can all do that, then the sooner we can actually see a light at the end of the tunnel. I know I've been saying that for so long throughout this entire pandemic, but it really does require the work of everyone to get together, trust each other that we can go and finish this, and that we could finally go and move on and actually get back to normal. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. It's a little bit of a cautionary tale, but still very much exciting to see. This is not to go and put a damper on the mood of this whole situation. It is still like a wonderful thing to go and witness that Spider-Man No Way Home is so far breaking records to the point that a lot of people are very much excited. They are very happy with what they have seen. And, that everything is really paying off with Spider-Man No Way Home, as well as for Marvel, for Disney, for Sony, and especially for cinemas. Like, this is the kind of movie that they needed for so long. But still, though, moving ahead forward, we just need to be a little bit more cautious. We need to be a little bit more alert, and we will have to wait and see with how things go. Because if cinemas are going to be a little bit more strict when it comes to their rules, or especially with the amount of capacity that they can allow, or if they would do like Quebec and just fully shut down cinemas altogether, then the numbers that we're going to see here don't be surprised if they're gonna just drop. And I don't mean like just do a little decline, I mean like full on. So this is just a bit of a heads up on that. And also, just a little bit of a warning. And again, I just want to go and remind you all, if you guys are planning to go and see Spider-Man No Way Home this holiday season and you have cinemas that are open to do so, then please do it. But I highly advise that you take the precautions to also stay safe for both yourself and for your community. So make sure you have your vaccines, and if you're able to get the booster, please go and do so. And please wear a mask at all times, even when you're watching the movie. I know it's not as comfortable to go and watch a movie with a mask on, but it is still for the best, for yourself and for the people around you. So that's what I want to talk about with this. And also just a quick mention, congratulations to both Marvel and Sony for that amazing win with Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm so glad that everybody is happy with it. And hopefully in the future, the virus won't be too damaging for the following weeks for Spider-Man No Way Home. All right, but anyways, going back to the chat wall right over here, I would like to go and ask you all, how do you feel about the opening of Spider-Man No Way Home? And also, if you guys have seen the movie, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like it is worth it? Let me know what you guys think on this. Okay. Well, let's see here. I saw the movie on Thursday with a lot of my new friends from last year. Two of them played with guitar and trumpet, different themes of Spider-Man. Though the movie and the whole theater clapped, and it was an amazing screening. It definitely is my favorite movie of the year. I was born back in 2002, 5 months after the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man release, and back in my childhood, I used to watch Sam Raimi's trilogy and thought those made me a huge Spider-Man fan until today. The movie blew my mind. All right, awesome, dude. Let's see what else we got here. I've already seen No Way Home, and I'm seeing it again tomorrow. And let me tell you, the box office success was more than justified. It's an absolute phenomenal movie, even though it's not as good as Spider-Verse. But in terms of theater restrictions, maybe they could simply instate vaccine passport mandates just to keep everyone there safe. But for now, it was totally worth it to see, redacted for spoilers. That was so cool. Yeah, all right, that's awesome. But yeah, honestly, I do agree with you. And I mean, there is a part of me that does understand why Quebec has to go and do what they did by shutting it down. But still, though, like already the restrictions that they did put in was already enough. I mean, the fact that we do have vaccine passports and the fact that we do have mask mandates at cinemas, like that is already enough. But then again, the Omicron variant is said to spread very easily, more so than some of the other variants. So it is kind of a complicated process, and I am still a little bit peeved of the situation, especially because I can't really review Sing 2 anymore, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta work with what you can, you know? Oh, excuse me. I swear, it is just a cold. I tested. It is negative. All right, anyways, oh my god, I had to make that explanation so many times throughout the week. Anyways, let's see what we got here. This makes total sense with Sony holding the distribution rights to Spider-Man. We do not know where this movie will be in 45 days, unlike most Marvel movies, which go to Disney Plus in 45 days after being in theaters with IMAX, enhanced sound, color, and aspect ratio. But still, they got a winning formula with the movie, and I can't wait to see, and I can't wait for the next 3 Spider-Man movies after this one. Can't wait to see it in theaters. Yeah, that is going to be interesting to see what they're going to do next, considering that it is from Sony. If the virus does get worse, then Sony would better have some kind of backup plan. In fact, I'm just going to say this right now. Like, it is a little unlikely, but I wouldn't be surprised to see if maybe Disney and Sony would go and make some kind of deal that if movie theaters can no longer be an option to show Spider-Man No Way Home, they would just go and put it on Disney Plus. Like, I'm sure they would probably find a way to go and do so. Like, maybe it's very unlikely and they'll just put it out digitally, like, to go and buy it off of, like, Amazon or iTunes or something like that. But still, I feel like that could be a possibility, especially with the current state of the pandemic right now. Let's see what we got here. I saw it on Saturday with my younger sister, and she showed me the other two movies months prior. As a super casual MCU watcher, I think this movie was really good. Honestly, I figured it would be a box office success just by the crowd on the second day. I didn't expect it to make over $100 million on just the weekend alone. However, this makes me worry about the future of the film because Spider-Man is the biggest success for the American movie since Star Wars 9. Yeah, and I mean, normally it would be great to see a success like this, grow even bigger, but in this case right now, it is a little bit dangerous, and there is that possibility that this success could really end up screwing itself over where, it would become so big that it becomes a problem with the pandemic. So, hopefully that will not be the case. Let's see now. I absolutely love No Way Home, and I'm very glad that it was a success. Without spoiling anything, I will say this. Companies should really listen to the fans more often. I really hope the pandemic doesn't screw everything over because No Way Home deserves the numbers. Overall, love No Way Home. Can't wait for Across the Spider-Verse. Will do. All right, let's see what else we got here. I just want to say congratulations to Spider-Man No Way Home for starting the weekend very well with huge opening numbers. Much like you, Matt, I did not see the movie yet, and no spoilers, people. As for the future of COVID, it's something that we need to take seriously. I felt pretty sad for you, Matt, that Quebec closed cinemas, but regardless, we need to follow the mandates and take the vaccines if we want the world to get back to normal. I just hope that next year will be smooth with the pandemic. I really hope so too, but then again, you never know. The future is more unpredictable than ever. Let's see. I think I'll read one. Wait, have I read this one? Oh yeah, I've already read that one. I'll read two more comments actually. Anyways, this movie absolutely deserves these records. As someone who saw the movie on Friday and absolutely adored it, this really does prove the hype that No Way Home had surrounding it. I don't think No Way Home has a chance to make $1 billion if it plays its cards right, and could lead the box office through the holidays and January because there's not much competition in January, at least until Morbius will be released. I don't think The Matrix Resurrection will overshadow No Way Home. Oh, I'm just going to say it right now. There is no way. Especially right now when I heard apparently there's some mixed reactions with the Matrix Resurrection. Yeah, it's going to be tough to see how things are going to go there. But then again, you guys never know. Sing 2 could end up destroying Spider-Man No Way Home at the box office. Man, I can't even keep a straight face when saying that. Oh my god, absolute trolling right there, folks. Either that or it's just one simple bad joke right there. Anyways, one more comment before we move on to the next story here. As a big Spider-Man fan, I'm very happy that No Way Home managed to break records at the box office. I saw the movie yesterday safely, and I loved it, and I'm planning on seeing it again tomorrow. With the Omicron virus on the loose, I do worry if it will damage the movie's success, but I hope it does well worldwide, along with breaking $1 billion. For now, congrats to Sony and Marvel for their success with No Way Home, and I hope people get a chance to watch the film in theaters safely. Yep, and I definitely do agree on that, and I think that's the perfect statement to go and conclude on this story. So let's just hope for the best that this success with No Way Home can continue to grow, and that the Omicron variant will not screw this one over. All right, so it is time that we're going to go and move on to our next story, and that we are going to enter into the realm of animation. And I actually got a couple of trailers that I would like to go and show you. And the first one that I got here is actually a testament to how epic 2022 is going to be. Now, there are a lot of movies that people are very much excited for. Of course, we got the Pixar films that are coming up, including Turning Red, that already proved to be exciting to go and see, especially after that really good trailer. We got Lightyear, that's got a lot of hype. We got Across the Spider-Verse, that's continuing this excitement for Spider-Man on the big screen. And we even got Netflix movies that are actually pretty exciting to go and see, including Wendell and Wild that is coming soon. And I actually did hear that apparently Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio could actually be coming by the end of 2022. And if that is the case, you bet I am definitely going to be excited for that one. But there is one more movie to add on this list, one that has a lot of people in the animation community talking. And believe it or not, it is actually going to be coming from DreamWorks Animation. So, with that said, let us go ahead and check out the trailer for DreamWorks' next animated feature, The Bad Guys.
Hey, you! Get over here. Oh, I know what it is. You're afraid because I'm the big bad wolf, the villain of every story. Duh. And this is the crew. Miss Tarantula, Mr. Shark, Mr. Piranha, Mr. Snake.
Everyone copy.
Copy. Copy. Copy. Copy. We're the bad guys.
It's crime time, baby. Shark. We need a distraction.
Do I get to improvise?
Fine, please be subtle.
I'm having a baby! Is there a doctor? Or perhaps several security guards that could leave their post and help me?
We were never given a chance to be anything more than criminals. But these are the cards we've been dealt, so we might as well play them. Here, let me help you. Are you okay, ma'am?
Thank you, dear. You're such a good boy.
Wait, what?
I'm the bad guy.
All good, brother?
All good, yeah. You ever wonder what it'd be like if the world wasn't scared of us?
Never gonna happen.
Guys, we're gonna go good.
Did you get hit on the head?
You villains have an image problem. You need a makeover.
So criminal.
Well, there goes our street cred.
Well, I'm tired of being an outcast. Maybe I don't want to be a...
What? A bad guy?
You're going to have to choose between your friends or the good life.
They're the only friends I've ever had.
You have a chance to write your own story. What have you got to lose?
I don't know. My dignity?
Yeah, well, that ship has already sailed.
So you're a tough guy, like a really rough guy.
That is an animal testing lab with helpless guinea pigs.
I'll rescue them.
You've never volunteered for anything.
Oh.
Come on, Snake, open up.
Relax. These doors are complicated. Snake!
Are you kidding me?
We're supposed to save them, not eat them.
Well, I'd say they've gone to a better place.
I'm not bad side. I'm not bad side. I'm the bad guy.
And that is The Bad Guys, which is going to be coming soon in theaters on April 22nd of next year. Now, before anything, I would just like to go and make a quick comment because this was a bit of a recent trend that I've been seeing on social media where a lot of people were talking about the fact that we are seeing the decline of DreamWorks Animation, where their movies have just been progressively worse and worse and worse, and that the DreamWorks name doesn't have as much power as it used to be. Nobody is really that excited to go and see a DreamWorks animated film, either on the big screen or whatever new stuff that they would have coming out. Now, I would argue that the decline of DreamWorks, that doesn't sound necessarily true, especially when they have been doing pretty well with their Netflix shows. When it comes to the animated series that they have been producing, they have been going relatively pretty well. I haven't seen it myself, but I've heard a lot of pretty good things about Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous. And this is not to mention, of course, like many of the big name shows that they have made that were highly acclaimed, including She-Ra, the She-Ra series that they did, as well as Tales of Arcadia. Like, not to mention Tales of Arcadia, whether it be like Troll Hunters, Wizards, or Three Below. Like they really do prove that they can really make like something in the scopes of what they would do on the big screen, like How to Train Your Dragon, and do that for animated series, whether it be for Netflix or for television or whatever. But I do understand the sentiment when it comes to their movies because, yeah, as of recent, there hasn't been a good DreamWorks film that we have seen in a while, honestly. Especially, like, in recent years, what have we gotten? Trolls World Tour, The Boss Baby, Family Business, Spirit Untamed. Yeah, they're not really that... They were great. I mean, they're not horrible, but... yeah, those aren't really some of the highlights of DreamWorks Animation. In fact, the last time that we've seen like a DreamWorks Animation movie that really was worth watching was How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World back at the start of 2019. Or even in terms of an original DreamWorks animated film, like the last time we've had a DreamWorks animated film that was worth watching, that wasn't a follow-up to anything, was Captain Underpants back in 2017. I know that there are some people out there that would say there was also Abominable back in 2019 as well, and it does have a bit of its own fan base, but personally, I wasn't that big of a fan of Abominable, so for me, the last original good DreamWorks film really was Captain Underpants. But then we had this, and this was a trailer that really had a lot of people turning heads and really got excited for this movie because I think it is safe to say that this looks completely different compared to any other DreamWorks animation film. And yeah, like we might as well go and start this off by talking about the animation in this movie, which honestly is quite amazing. And a lot of people have definitely pointed out that it is very stylized. And well, it does lean more on like being straightforward CG with its look. Like there are a few moments where it does have like a bit of that stylized, almost Spider-Verse, or even like one movie that can be fairly compared is The Mitchells versus the Machines, where it can have its moments where it does try to emulate the 2D style, where it simplifies its colors, give the characters an outline, and even give them additional effects as well. Like, even, you probably have seen, like, the tail wagging bit where Mr. Wolf was called a good guy. Like, you see here, like, when his tail is wagging, like, you do see, like, little lines. It's not easy to try to, like, just catch it on the spot with a pause. But you guys get what I mean. Like, there are little moments where, like, you see the little swish, like, just one line to, like, emphasize the effect. Or there are like other moments as well that you see like the style being emphasized, like right over here. Like you see Mr. Wolf and Mr. Snake breaking out, like stealing some money. And I just gotta say right now, like this style over here, you know what it really does remind me of? This is Lupin. Like, you know how Luca is kind of like an homage to Studio Ghibli films? I feel like with this shot alone, this really feels like this is DreamWorks' homage to Lupin the Third with that style of animation. Even with Mr. Wolf's pose, like it kind of reminds me, like in the opening shot of the Castle of Cagliostro. You know when Lupin and what's his Lupin and Jigen when they both like, you know, they broke out of a Monte Carlo casino and stole like the fake money. Like, that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's like that shot over here. And that's another thing that I do want to mention as well, is the designs, where it kind of has a bit of that same style, like, again, similar to Luca, or even with what's coming soon with Turning Red, where it does have that major Japanese influence, or that typical anime influence with the facial expressions and how a lot of the characters are like their facial features, or just like the designs in general, are a lot more round. and a lot more, and especially how they are a lot more expressive as well. Like even another good example to point out, like, oh, this scene right here, like with Shark, with Mr. Shark trying to improvise, trying to get people's attention, like trying to make a distraction. Like let's see this again.
Subtle.
I'm having a baby! Is there a doctor? Or perhaps several security guards that could leave their post and help me?
Yeah, like you can even see like the facial expressions that, they're a lot more, they're a lot more broad, they're a lot bigger, and even the poses, they're a lot more bold and a lot more prominent as well. So the animation, I think it's safe to say that it is definitely a major standout component to here, and already this looks fantastic. It has its own unique style and really moving forward with it. Of course, it does have a little bit of that influence from other projects such as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but still though, it has its own identity and it's actually working out well. But even outside of the animation, one thing that I actually do like, which is kind of the main selling point, is actually the bad guys themselves. Like just from this trailer alone, I actually really do enjoy the personalities that they have presented with, like we got a lot with Mr. Wolf, who is pretty much the main character of all this. And then we also got Mr. Shark, a bit of Miss Tarantula with Mr. Snake, and like maybe not necessarily a whole lot with Mr. Piranha, but still though, I love seeing the dynamic that we have over here, especially with a bit of the relationship that we see with Mr. Snake.
Maybe I don't want to be a...
Yeah, like with Mr. Snake and Mr. Wolf, that we do see a bit of that, like, a bit of a budding contrast, but, they have been like best friends before, that's actually really nice. And even like some of the comedy here as well is also great. Like with the clip that I showed you with Mr. Shark, like that was also really funny. Like that scene was definitely great. Or even like the last bit with Mr. Snake just eating up all the guinea pigs or the gerbils or hamsters or whatever. Like he just ate them all up. So like the comedy, I will say that's also something that I feel like is very much on point, and especially with the character dynamics that we are seeing here is definitely a lot of fun. So that's another component that I feel excited about. Now, there are a few things that I do feel like, yeah, they don't seem as strong, or they will end up making the plot predictable. Like, I'm just going to say this right now, and I will say I could totally be wrong, and this might not be the case, but I do feel like, honestly, you guys remember at the start with the hamster, like, yeah, this guy right over here.
You're going to have to choose between your friends.
Yeah, this guy, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie has a plot twist villain, and it's him. That they would go with this guy and he turns out to be the bad guy. And the reason why I say this is because of the one shot that we just saw before, right over here, where suddenly we see a whole bunch of hamsters with glowing lights and they're just rampaging on the loose. Like that, I feel like is a little bit of a clue where that hamster could turn out to be the bad guy or guinea pig or whatever. You guys know what I mean. And again, I could totally be wrong, and the movie could probably have some kind of surprise that maybe he's not the villain and it's probably something else. But still, though, I don't know. I feel like there is like something that this trailer is telling me that kind of feels a little bit obvious. But other than that, though, I will say that honestly, for the first time in years, I feel excited for a DreamWorks animation film, and this honestly looks a lot of fun. This looks like it is going to be awesome. The animation is fantastic. They really nailed the style that they were going for. The characters look like they're a lot of fun. The jokes are funny so far. So yeah, honestly, already I am going to go and put this on one of my most anticipated animated films of 2022. So yeah, this definitely looks great. And if you are also excited for this movie to come out, then all you have to do is just wait until April 22nd, 2022 for the movie's release. All right, so with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall and I would like to ask you all, what do you think of the trailer of The Bad Guys? Do you guys think that this was a lot of fun? Are you guys excited for it? Are you a little more doubtful over this movie? Let me know what you all think. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, there we go. Not really a fan of the usage of the Bad Guy song by Billie Eilish, but besides that, this looks awesome. I love the style of animation they are going for, and the jokes that haven't been delivered so far are pretty darn funny. Haven't been this excited for an original DreamWorks movie since Captain Underpants. It's also crazy how Universal is continuing the trend of wolf characters people are simping over after Portia from Sing 2. Yeah, this could be another one that I could see a lot of people will just absolutely fall in love with. Not just with furries, but also like with his personality as well. If not, like I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Wolf could turn out to be a like a gateway to furries, kind of like with Disney's Robin Hood. Let's see what else. And also, I just want to go and comment. I think it is pretty much obvious that they would have to use that Bad Guy song. I think like it was pretty much inevitable, especially for a movie literally called Bad Guys. At some point they would have to go and use it, rather it be in the movie itself or even at some point in the trailers. It had to be used. Let's see. This trailer actually intrigues me. The film's theme of heist is positively reminding me of the Sly Cooper games. The animation in this film is very unique and stylized, possibly one of the most stylized animations I have seen in a while. Might check it out on the spring if the opportunity rose. All right, that's awesome. Let's see what else we got. Well, color me pleasantly surprised, because this looks pretty dope. The visuals are really creative, and I could see the Lupin III and Paperman influence here. I like how it plays around with the heist genre, and the joke with the shark having a baby made me laugh so hard I started aching. Or maybe that's just my arm. I did get my booster today. Oh, awesome. My government hasn't even announced when I can have my booster. They announced today that people 65 and over can get their booster. But for me, I think I gotta wait either until January or February. But anyways, also, I'm a little surprised this film got away with a vor joke. You don't get that enough in animated movies nowadays. Yeah, that is. Oh my god, that is true. I didn't even think of that. Like, I just said that the joke was funny, but I didn't think of like actual vor. Oh my god. Hey, who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it's not Mr. Wolf that like will get that the furries will go crazy over. Maybe it could be Mr. Snake because of his ability to vor. Oh boy, I kid. You guys know that, but then again, we wouldn't be surprised if there are some people that would legitimately get into that and would legitimately get into Mr. Snake for that. But anyways, hey, as long as they're not hurting anybody, like their kinks are perfectly fine. But anyways, let's see. Right here. So this movie is basically Zootopia meets Despicable Me meets Reservoir Dogs. Besides that comparison, the story looks rather interesting so far, the characters seem really fun, and the animation really shows how 3D animation has evolved to be a lot more expressive, action-packed, and stylized when compared to several years ago. I'll certainly try to check it out when it comes out. Alright, that's awesome. What else we got? I'm so looking forward to watch this new DreamWorks movie. I didn't really watch any of their new ones since The Croods A New Age, since they're not really my cup of tea. But after watching the trailer for The Bad Guys, I was like, sign me up! The animation was awesome, the characters were fun, and the humor was really funny. I'm going to watch it when it comes out in April. Also, the Fox character who's with Mr. Wolf looks very cute and hot. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of like really attractive furry characters, and yeah, honestly, I could see, there's this one shot that we saw before that had, like we saw Mr. Wolf hanging out with her, like in a cute little dress, or, yeah, like this little shot right over here. Yeah, I think this is going to be another character that I wouldn't be surprised a lot of people might end up simping over, so that could be the case. Hey, for furries, like, I think this is going to be the movie for you. I think for furries, they'll be hyped up for this, almost like how they were for Zootopia. Who knows? All right, anyways, any other comments? Okay. Let's see. Welcome back, good old DreamWorks. The bad guys could potentially be a lot of fun, and that animation does have some cool style. Getting some Lupin vibes, and I want to see it. Even the voice work by Sam Rockwell and Awkwafina doesn't sound so bad. Can't wait for April. Oh yeah, and I mean, both Sam Rockwell and Awkwafina, they are both great actors in their own respect. And Sam Rockwell, like, he has often done a lot of really cool stuff. And with Awkwafina, like, I know I criticized her in Raya and the Last Dragon, but like, when you put her in the right project, she can actually be really awesome. And yeah, like, even in Raya, like, she was definitely fantastic as Sisu. I just find her to be a little bit out of place. Like, if you put that character in a different movie, then I'm sure it would work out a lot better and and use the talent of Awkwafina into full effect. But yeah, like, honestly, in this case here, though, with her playing as Miss Tarantula, definitely awesome. So definitely worth watching. And yeah, like, even the actors are also really good. Let's see. I think I'll read one more. Two more comments before we go and move on to the next. No, actually, one more comment. That one I already read. Anyways. Wow, honestly, I wasn't expecting this revival of DreamWorks movies with bad guys. The animation is crisp yet quite cartoony, the voice cast, not defined yet, is top-notch, and the story is quite promising. Definitely gonna watch that buddy-free comedy flick. Speaking of Lupin, did you see the 2019 movie, the first one in CGI, with the very last credited role of Kiyoshi Kobayashi? Also, I'll send you a private professional mail very soon about Discord. Honestly, no, I have not yet, unfortunately. I want to, though, and I did actually buy the Blu-ray, so I'm all set for it. I just need to have the time to actually go and see it. All right, and I think that should be the last one, so okay, so that definitely was a really awesome trailer that we just saw. So again, keep in mind that if you guys are interested to check out the bad guys, then mark your calendars on April 22nd, 2022. All right, so now it is time that we are going to go and jump onto the next trailer that I have over here, and we're going to jump from one highly anticipated project to the next. But instead of a movie, we actually got a series, one in which has a pilot that was very well praised and was very beloved, to which people heavily demanded to turn that into a major show. And with that said, Adult Swim actually did listen, and they are going to deliver, in which coming soon, we are actually going to get a series of Smiling Friends. So let's go ahead and actually check out the trailer right now.
Look, Serena Williams, Matrix.
Well,
Serena,
son of a
Matrix.
fish, hold on
Serena,
a sec.
Matrix.
We got a trailer that we got an advertising that we have to see.
Together with the best of
Even in here, we cannot escape ads. What the fridge is going on? Okay, anyways, here we go.
Oh, hello. Are you the Smiling Friends?
That's us, ma'am.
Hello? Boys, I just got a call from a young man who sounded absolutely distressed. Can you head over and help him before he goes cuckoo, cuckoo?
There's no time to waste, Charlie. Let's go out there and make people smile.
Whenever I see your smiling face, I have to smile myself because I love you. Yes, I do.
I like your hair.
This old thing? Yeah, it's actually just an exposed nerve ending, but thanks.
Isn't it amazing a man like me can feel this way?
Oh, sorry. You're not gonna hit
that, You need to pick those up when you're done.
Come in here. This house is insane. You have a gym, you got a theater, and you've even got a beautiful animal sanctuary.
Oh, don't cry, Mr. Ketchup. We'll solve this mystery soon.
Thank you, Pim.
No one can tell me that I'm doing wrong.
Hey, no. Hey, stop. Come on.
Whenever I see you smile at me.
They're guaranteed to cheer you up. Unless, they can't for some reason.
I gave him some of these.
Is it safe for him to be in that pool while he's on there?
Yeah, no one's ever done anything crazy on sleeping pills.
Smiling Friends, premiering January 9th at midnight.
What is your business?
To make you smile.
On Adult Swim.
And that is Smiling Friends, which is going to be coming soon on January 9th at midnight. Now, one thing I gotta say right now is that I remember I've seen a while back the pilot for Smiling Friends. And by the way, actually, before I do get into that, I just want to give you all a little bit of a context. And one of the major reasons why Smiling Friends has such a massive cult following right now is because of the creators who actually started out as just YouTube animators or as Newgrounds animators, one of which includes Michael Cusack, whom already has some work on Adult Swim that has already premiered. Like, he has already done a few shows and a few specials. And I've actually personally talked with Michael Cusack on my YouTube channel. You can actually go and check out an interview that I've done with him. He's actually a pretty cool guy, like really chill and really awesome. And also, not only Michael Cusack, but there is also Zach Huddell. And you probably know Zach Huddell more as Psychic Pebbles. And they both collaborated on this one project to create this fun little series called Smiling Friends. And the series itself is basically about these two guys. They work for this company in which they go and help people out to go and make people who are down in the dumps, they're a little bit depressed, and to go and make them smile. Originally, they would try to go and help out kids, but in their situation, they end up meeting some pretty wild characters, let's say. And in the pilot, they actually meet up this guy who looks like he's in his 40s, that he still lives with his mom, and he was in the brink of just shooting himself. Like, throughout the whole thing, he actually just has a gun to his head. Like, all the time. Like, it's just part of his character. And he's actually voiced, I believe, by Mike from Red Letter Media. If not him, it's another person from Red Letter Media, the one that has, like, you know, that has this very surly voice throughout the whole time and just sounds depressed all the time. You know, that guy. And he has that same voice in Smiling Friends in that pilot. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you do so. And even looking at this trailer right over here, they're definitely delivering exactly what we want to see more of. Just more of that signature craziness that the pilot offered. And one thing that I will say is that the one thing with Smiling Friends that really does stand out is that it has that sense of internet culture that truly is defined. Like, this really is Newgrounds style animation that is really seeping onto cable television or on streaming or on mainstream media, basically, that we are seeing that style now being fully incorporated, that it is a lot more different than your typical Family Guys or Rick and Morty's and stuff like that. And what I do like about this animation and the comedy is the fast pace, that it really is, like, very zippy. And I think that's the best way to describe it. Like, let's just go and check out some clips and you'll see, like, how they go very fast.
Charlie, let's go out there and make people smile!
Like, you saw how fast, like, he ran to the door, like, let's make people smile, boom! Or even, like, there's at one point, like, this frog character just ate, this frog character, like, quickly ate something else, like, you saw, like, it was just one frame, maybe 2 or 3 frames of, like, this one creature, like, just sitting on that rock, and then the dude picked it up and is just eating him. Like, it just went by so quickly. And I kind of like that unique fast pace. It kind of delivers something that we haven't seen on mainstream media. We haven't seen anything like this on Adult Swim or on any other adult animation. Like this, yeah, the comedy like this is very commonly found on the internet, rather it be like these types of animations, like a Psychic Pebble video, or even Oni G's animations as well, or even like with Gmod animations. Like, you would see these random Team Fortress 2 characters like zipping their way through everything. And it's kind of nice and unique that we are seeing that style being used in here. And it actually does look a lot of fun, where we do have like a lot of that style of humor of everything going fast paced, and also the weird nature where it's kind of like a combination of the bizarre and the awkward to infuse its own unique comedy as well, where we do have those weird moments. Like another example is like this worm character that is obsessed with the game called Mouse Quest. And like one of the main characters, or Zach Hadel's character, is just opening up a window just to see, like, you know, just to give him some light.
This way.
Oh, sorry.
Like, we just have that one quick little moment there. You know, there's a lot of like promise and a lot of fun that they actually are showing. And honestly, a lot of this, you know, I can imagine that there's going to be a lot of people out there. You know, it's not necessarily their cup of tea. It is unique to the point where I could see where, yeah, it'll definitely have a lot of its fans, but there's also going to be a lot of people that they are going to be turned off by it, that if they don't like it, then they're really going to hate this. And I mean, I understand that, because like it is kind of different. It is kind of out there per se. But then again, like for me personally, I feel like, honestly, I could very much be on board with this. And I do feel like this is kind of on brand with Adult Swim, that it does have that style of humor that is similar to what we have seen before with Aqua Teen Hunger Force or Squidbillies, that the sense of randomness and the weirdness of it all. Like, it is very true to that style of programming that they would continuously show. So overall, when it comes to all this, honestly, this is another project that I'm actually very much excited for. I mean, Adult Swim is on a major roll when it comes to some of their shows. Like, when they got a hit, they got a major hit. Like, when they showed Primal, for example, I have actually seen the series, and yeah, I think I could safely say that it is one of, if not the best thing that Genndy Tartakovsky has honestly done. Like, maybe it could even surpass his achievements with what he did with both Samurai Jack and Dexter's Lab. It really is such a phenomenal series, and I am excited for season 2 to come up. And maybe even with this as well, I feel like this could also be another major winner that they have on their hands. So for me, I'm definitely excited to see this series. And yeah, apparently it is going to be coming soon. It's going to be in less than a month on January 9th. So we'll see how things go with the show. And with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall right over here. And I would like to ask you all, what do you think of Smiling Friends? What did you think of this trailer? Did you guys enjoy what you see? Are you guys excited to see this one? Are you guys a little doubtful? Are you not into what you are witnessing here? Let me know what you all think. All right. Oh, and a lot of people are correcting me by saying that apparently it's Mr. Plinkett. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, the voice, it's not Mike, it's Mr. Plinkett who voiced who was the voice in the Smiling Friends pilot. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry for the little mistake there. Anyways, let's get into this. So let's see what people are commenting. This series does look a lot of fun, and I'm really happy Adult Swim picked this up as a series. The humor feels effective, and oh, Mike is Mr. Plinkett. Well, son of a fish! I was right all along. But what the fridge, guys? What the fridge? Okay, so a lot of people are saying, okay, so I was right. Okay. Okay, thank you for the clarification. I just saw a lot of people are just commenting. It's like, Mr. Plinkett, Mr. Plinkett, Mr. Plinkett. And in my mind, I was thinking like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Okay, so, okay, there we go. All right. Anyways, where was I? Anyways, yes, this comment here. This series does look a lot of fun, and I'm really happy Adult Swim picked this up as a series. The humor feels effective, and the characters seem like a lot of fun. So overall, I'm interested. Now, if only Adult Swim can pick up Pibby as a series. Oh, that's a whole other story right over there. So one series at a time. And I mean, let's just be thankful for now that we do have Smiling Friends. Let's see what else we got. Yes, they finally adapted the Smosh skit life betterers into a series, but in all honesty, I never saw the original Smiling Friends, but this looks pretty fine. I like some of the visual gags, especially when Pym just news across the room, and the voice acting is pretty decent. If I have the time and motivation, maybe I could check it out. Also, why does Pym look like the Scorpion from Back to the Outback? They're not even voiced by the same guy. What the hell is going on here? Well, then again, maybe it could also be because of the fact that Pym does have like a prominent Australian accent. Like, come on, let's go and have some fun. And I can see a little bit of the comparisons, because if you guys haven't seen it, in Back to the Outback, the Scorpion does have like that cute little face with giant eyeballs, and you see Pym like kind of has the same thing. Like, he's supposed to have like that simplistic cute design, and has like those giant eyeballs as well. Granted, like his his iris is like very much scribbled, but still though, like I could see a bit of that comparison. All right, anyways, where was I? While I see that people are excited for this, I'm kind of conflicted with this. On one hand, I am glad that indie animators are getting recognized from companies. Shout out to Hell of a Boss Season 2. But on the other hand, though, this is by the guy who worked with Oni Plays, aka the people whom their fans would harass and insult Linkara on a daily basis. So I don't want people like that. Yeah, I mean, I do get that, and I do understand, like, I used to be a major fan of Oni Plays, but then following afterwards, I kind of lost interest, and especially nowadays, the fan base does feel a little bit toxic, especially with the treatment of Linkara, where, like, they would continuously gaslight him every time he would call them out, and I mean, like, if the dude doesn't want to be recognized, like, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, the funny, like the running thing, the Linkara, yeah, like the his little running bit, like, yeah, it's all funny. And I mean, I get it. It's kind of like the white guy version of the Earl meme when he would go and like make that quick run and stuff like that. But still, though, if he doesn't find it enjoyable, if he wants people to stop, and like, honestly, like, seriously, just stop it. Like, it really is harassment by this point. Anyways, where are we here? Ah, there we go. It's pretty nice to see a YouTuber like Psychic Pebbles be allowed to make a series for Adult Swim, and as a lover of random and bizarre humor like Gmod videos and Xavier Renegade Angel, this certainly has my attention. All of this seems really fun, so I'm certainly excited for this. I will most certainly watch it when it comes out, which will actually be the day before my birthday. Ah, awesome! Hey, and like, it is going to be at midnight, so maybe we'll be on your birthday. Who knows? Anyways, honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing about Smiling Friends, and I have to give this a hard pass. The unappealing character designs and internet culture humor doesn't really do it for me. Also, just a little computer trick. When the video is paused, you can use those arrows, the arrow buttons, to look at the animation frames. Can you do that? Like, can that be a thing on YouTube? Hold on a second. I want to try that out. Like, let's actually do it with this right over here. I just want to see. Okay, no, not like that. That's just advancing it a little bit too much. Where are those keys here? Oh, that is true. You can. Oh my god, that is very helpful. I didn't know that the fly even looks like this. So, hold on. Let's count how many frames it is for him to eat that fly. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. Hold on. I was wondering. Okay, so like there was a little pause. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 frames. Just 6 frames of eating that fly. And like 2 of which are like the exact same ones. Wow, I was not expecting that at all. Okay, wow. Thank you for the tip there. All right. Wow. Very handy, especially for like this video. But anyways, what other comments do we have here? Do we have any other comments? I'm actually surprised, like, not a lot of people have something to say. Let's see what else. Oh, okay. One more comment then. Let's see. Honestly, when it comes to Smiling Friends, it feels weird for me because of the art style. For me, I am waiting for Adult Swim to greenlight Pibby, since that got me my attention. Also, my Wi-Fi lagged, so I had to restart. Okay, well, there you have it. Okay, so I'm not really surprised that it's not necessarily for everyone, but if you are excited to see Smiling Friends, then keep in mind that it will have its big premiere on Adult Swim on January 9th at midnight. All right, so now let's move on to our next story that we have here, and we're going to talk about an annual tradition. Now, this is a big moment for movies, where there's only going to be 25 of them that would go and reach a certain legendary status. And considering that we are at the end of the year, that moment has finally arrived, and there are a few certain movies that are very interesting and worth talking about here. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the new inductees to the National Film Registry. Yes, folks, it has officially been announced 25 brand new movies have now been added to the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. And this is a huge honor for movies, debatably even more so than the Oscars, which, here we go, in which it pretty much honors them by saying that, by the way, which I'm reading from my source here on Deadline, that the movies have been selected for their cultural, historic, or aesthetic importance to preserve the national film's heritage. And there is a wide variety that has been selected, to some very well-known ones, to some major big-name classics, to some historically relevant movies, to some features that are not only important but also highlight diversity, and also some surprises as well. And so, without further ado, reading from Deadline, the new additions to the National Film Registry, reading in chronological order, they are Ringling Brothers Parade Film, Jubilo, The Flying Ace, Hellbound Train, Flowers and Trees, Strangers on a Train, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Evergreen, Requiem 29, The Murder of Fred Hampton, Pink Flamingos, Sounder, The Long Goodbye, Cooley High, Richard Pryor live in concert, Chicana, The Wobblies, Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Stop Making Sense, Who Killed Vincent Chin, The Watermelon Woman, Selena, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and finally, WALL-E. So these are our new additions, and of course, we might as well go and start off with the animation ones, to which we actually have two over here, WALL-E and Flowers and Trees. And I mean, when it comes to the Pixar films, I mean, those are the kinds of movies that eventually they would have to be added, especially the ones during the 2000s when Pixar was considered to be like the dominant king of animation back then. And especially when it comes to WALL-E, which a lot of people have considered to be one of their greatest works. I myself included. I absolutely adore WALL-E. And I am not a fan of romance films at all. But this is one of those extremely rare instances, like that one and the original Beauty and the Beast that Disney made back in 1991. Those are the ones that really did get my heart, honestly. Those are the ones in which the romance really did work, and it definitely is such a unique feature film that doesn't necessarily rely too much on dialogue. Yeah, you got some characters that do talk a bit, and I mean, you got some of the robots that do make sounds more so than they talk. Even with Eve, like, a lot of it is just more sounds than it is actually saying legitimate words. And most of the time they would just say their names, like Eva or Wally or whatever, but still, very beautiful feature film. And not to mention the cultural impact that it has made as a true standout Pixar film, it has often been presented as one of the best examples of what Pixar can do. And even debatably, and this might be a bit of a hot take, that this is possibly Andrew Stanton's greatest work that he has done, debatably even more so than Finding Nemo. Like just like the sheer scope of the project itself, the world that they have created, even a bit like adding a social commentary on environmentalism that really does add a bit of that, like, a bit of a clever touch that really has something to say and really helps out with the world building. So honestly, with WALL-E, I definitely do understand the addition of that, because it really is one of those films that really does highlight like Pixar at their greatest, Pixar at their best. So honestly, that one I feel like is a great addition, and really happy to see it be inducted into the National Film Registry. And then another one that we have in animation is Flowers and Trees, which, in case you guys don't know, it is the first ever commercial fully colored animated feature using the 3-color process. It is a Walt Disney cartoon, by the way, part of the Silly Symphony franchise. And it was the first one to be used in color, and one of the true standout Silly Symphony cartoons, the ones that has often been recognized the most, like right up there with some of the other cartoons such as The Skeleton Dance and Three Little Pigs and The Old Mill and several others as well. And I will say with Flowers and Trees, I feel like I'm kind of surprised that only now that they are actually adding it in, like at the point where it's almost going to be 90 years old, and especially with the way that it is very culturally significant, not just because of the fact that it is the first ever commercial colored cartoon, but also the fact that, believe it or not, this is actually the first ever cartoon in history to win an Oscar. The Best Animated Short category was not created until the 5th Academy Award, and the first winner, of course, has to be Walt Disney with Flowers and Trees. So this is a cartoon that has a lot of significance, a lot of historical value in terms of both film and for animation. So I think, honestly, this is one of those cases where it really feels like it's about time that they would go and include that one there. But then we do have plenty of the other ones, and we have many others that are very noteworthy. I think like the most popular of them all that they included, and even in this article right over here, like whenever you would see people talking about it in terms of this year's editions of inductees, of course it has to be Return of the Jedi, considering that we have already seen A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back already added in. Why not go and complete the trilogy and also include Return of the Jedi? Because we are at the point that all the Star Wars movies, whether they be good or bad, whether they be the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, or even the sequel trilogy, they have made a very significant impact in our culture. And especially when it comes to the original trilogy that really set the standards of Star Wars, yeah, I think it is important to also go and include it. And I mean, I understand that in terms of its position, a lot of people are still debating, like, if it would be regarded one of the better Star Wars films, or even, like, a lot of people would even say is the weakest of the original trilogy, but still, it has made a very significant impact, and it is still worth adding onto the list. And I will say there are a few other surprises, like Nightmare on Elm Street is also added in, so Freddy Krueger also has a spot in the National Film Registry, where it is interesting where now they are even recognizing horror movies as well. I'm not saying that they don't, but it is still very rare that they would go and do so. And I guess with Freddy Krueger being one of the most iconic horror characters in cinema history, of course they would go and add that in. And then they would also have, well, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. I guess it is a way to celebrate the 20th anniversary of that movie. So why not go and also include that feature film onto the list, especially right now that many people are saying that when it comes to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies, they are considered to be debatably the greatest fantasy films of all time. So why not give them all? So in order to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the first one, why not go and immortalize it with the National Film Registry? But then I will say there are also some weird additions as well. Like one that I am very surprised to see is Richard Pryor live in concert, where now they're adding a whole, a whole stand-up special into it. But then again, I do understand because Richard Pryor has been considered one of the greatest comedians of all time. So, of course, with live in concert, you might as well go and include that one to go and really highlight the cultural impact that Richard Pryor has on comedy in general, especially with Richard Pryor himself being one of the most influential comedians of all time. But then I will say the weirdest addition of them all, the one that really shocked me the most to make me say that one, that's on the list. It has to be pink flamingos. Okay, if you guys don't know what that movie is, holy crap, you are in for a wild ride. Now, Pink Flamingos, that is what is known as John Waters' most famous film. And I won't say it's not a snuff film, but it's the kind that it's really made to be very reactionary. It's one of those that really does value shock humor, especially when it comes to the bombastic nature of its star, Divine. And which, by the way, Divine is one of the most famous drag queens in history. So, it's really about Divine just going insane. And I'll just say this right now. There is also one famous scene in which Divine actually eats dog crap. And that's actually something that, no, it's not specially made dog crap. It's not like chocolate made as dog crap. It's not something that's meant to look like dog crap. It is legit, the poop. It is legit doggy doo-doo that Divine consumed. So yeah, it's one of those movies. Like I said, it's the kind of film that really does value shock, that really does emphasize shock humor. Again, if you guys don't know it, I highly recommend that you go and look it up. But viewers' discretion is advised on that one because it could definitely be crazy. But yeah, I will say, however, when it comes to many of the others, unfortunately, I'm not really as familiar, so I can't really comment on Ringling Brothers Parade film, especially when that's going to be 120 years old. I have heard about some of them, like Selena, a little bit. But yeah, I think honestly that's the most that I could really comment or really say on any of those ones. I know it's not really that long in terms of my commentary on this, but still, there's just some of them that I feel like are true standouts for me, and I can understand why that they would go and include them. Even with Pink Flamingo, in terms of that one, I do get it that it is, it is very controversial and, very sickening, debatably also, but still, I do understand that it still has a very massive cultural impact, so I do get its addition. So overall, though, congratulations to all the inductees of the National Film Registry. Very well earned, and really nice to see some really great films added onto the list, including Fellowship of the Ring and even with Wall-E and Flowers and Trees. All right, so with that said and done, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, what do you all think about the 25 films now added to the National Film Registry? Are you guys very happy with the list? Which ones are the standout feature films that are on this list itself? Let me know what you guys think. All right, let's see what we got here. I was very happy that Pixar has another film inducted to the registry. Wall-E is a good film, but I don't adore it to death. Congratulations on everyone and their film to be inducted in the registry this year. Which animated film would you think would get inducted in 2022? My bet is on The Wrong Trousers and The Nightmare Before Christmas. Honestly, I don't know, actually. And whenever they do, it's actually very rare. It's usually like one animated feature at a time, or even 2 or 3 if we are lucky. But honestly, we'll just have to wait and see. That's really that's really all that I could say. And I honestly don't know, because there are tons of other animated features that could be included. And I do agree, Wrong Trousers and Nightmare Before Christmas, those are great additions, but ultimately, I don't know, that's up to the Library of Congress. Let's see what else we got here. This may just be me, but I find WALL-E to be Pixar's best film objectively, so I'm glad that this got in. Also, I'm not gonna lie, seeing how the National Film Registry celebrates movies being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, I'm a little surprised Pink Flamingos got in. I'm sure it's a great film, but eating dog feces is now aesthetically significant? I mean, it is a standout moment! We are talking about it, aren't we? Also, I gotta add that a year on, I'm still rooting for B-Movie to get into the registry. $1 million idea right there, NFPB. What does the P stand for? Anyway, yeah, B-Movie, I don't think so. I mean, like, I get why Shrek would be in it, but I don't really see B-Movie. I'm just going to say right now, I feel like Despicable Me would be more likely to get into the National Film Registry more so than B-Movie. So I'm just saying. Or you know what? Speaking of that one, you know what I would think? You know what I would think would also be included? Ice Age. Ice Age could be one that I could see also be inducted, or at least in terms of the recent films. I mean, like, there are still plenty of others that have yet to do so, but I could probably see that one, especially like with how it was one of the biggest animated franchises of all time. I'm just saying, maybe that could be included too. Let's see. I have not seen most of these films on this list, but I am happy to see Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Nightmare on Elm Street, which the late Wes Craven should be proud of, The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, and especially WALL-E, because they all deserve to be on that list, so congrats to all of those films, and looking forward to see which film will make it next year. Ah, yeah, it definitely is a lot of fun. Let's see. WALL-E is one of my favorite Pixar films, so congrats to Pixar, but Fritz the Cat should go onto the National Film Registry in my opinion because of its historical significance in animation and 70s culture. You are not wrong. And honestly, like, for next year, I think it would definitely be a great fit. Especially keep in mind, next year is going to be, I think it is going to be Fritz the Cat's 50th anniversary. And say what you will about Fritz the Cat, but it has absolutely made such a huge, significant impact in animation culture and film history and all that kind of stuff. So that would actually be a legitimate addition. That's actually a good idea. Oh my God. That would, honestly, I would be down for that. I would love to see Fritz the Cat be added in there. Let's see, what else do we have here? I would love to give a huge congrats to Flowers and Trees and WALL-E for making it to the registry. When it comes to Pixar movies, I remember seeing the movie in theaters back in 2008, and I loved that movie as a kid. I got nothing much to say, but big congrats to the other movies who made it in the registry. Also, after hearing about Pink Flamingos, I found it to be hilarious and disgusting when hearing about Divine eating doggy doo-doo. Oh yeah, that's nothing. You should actually see it. All right, I think I'm going to go with one more comment before we jump into the grand finale here. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's definitely some great films that were added into the National Film Registry. For me, I'm really happy that WALL-E was added. It is definitely one of Pixar's best animated films. I'm also happy that A Nightmare on Elm Street got in. Honestly, I'm hoping the original Halloween could be added in at some point. So there you have it, folks. Once again, I would like to say congratulations to all the new inductees to the National Film Registry. And let's do it again sometime next year in 2022 for the next batch. It's always fun to see which ones will be immortalized as a culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant film, even if it requires to eat dog crap in order to do so. All right, folks, it is time. We are at the point that we've made it into the grand finale. And oh boy, do I have a big one for you today. It really is a grand finale because we are going to be diving in to some major controversy. And I could debatably say that it was the most controversial moment of last week in the animation community. It was something that was supposed to be a fun little announcement, a fun new project that is going to happen. But the response did not go well, and following afterwards, I'll just say it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about Tara Strong's new project. Yes, Twitter, please load it. Okay, thank you. You didn't have to do that, but fine. All right, here we are. So, what is it that I'm talking about? Basically, you guys all know who Tara Strong is, one of the most prolific voice actresses working today, known for playing a variety of beloved cartoon characters, rather it be Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls, Timmy Turner in Fairly Odd Parents, Raven from Teen Titans, Harley Quinn from Batman, or even as Batgirl as well, Twilight Sparkle in My Little Pony, and many, many, many more. Definitely a beloved voice actress right over here. But it seems that right now, Tara Strong has actually announced that she's going to be working on a brand new project. So that sounds like a lot of fun, but she isn't just going to be voicing in it. She is actually going to be directing an animated feature. So that sounds like a moment where we could give a round of applause, you know? That sounds like a lot of fun. Tara Strong directing a new movie, which is awesome. She's climbing up the ranks and now she's going to become a legitimate filmmaker where she isn't just going to be a pretty little voice. She is also going to be a pretty little director as well. So that's pretty awesome. But why is this a controversy? Why is this getting so many backlashes? What's the biggest problem with all this? Well, that also includes 3 of the most hated letters on the internet. NFTs. And I'm going to go and describe you a little bit more about what this project, what Tara Strong is doing right now, reading directly from the thread that she has made, the official announcement that she made over here. Attention voiceover talent. I am making a movie with my friends, Walk Off the Earth, which, by the way, is a Canadian indie pop band, and EDH Animation, and you can be a part of it. We're casting supporting roles within the Holidayverse community, and I'm directing. The movie is the first to fund itself one frame at a time with environmentally friendly NFTs. The movie is called Ornamental. It's adorable. They're called ornaments, and they'll be living on the ecosystem Solana blockchain. Everyone who joins the Holidayverse Discord and successfully completes the super quiz in the next 24 hours will be added to our whitelist and guaranteed an ornament. Plus, everyone who likes, comments, and retweets this post will be entered to win one of 10 holiday video greetings from me. To learn more about ornaments, Ornamental, and the Holidayverse, head over to theholidayverse.com. I'll be on Twitter Space with Joel from Walk Off the Earth and Ross from EDH Animation today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on the Solana. What the fridge is this? Solanalysis page, chatting all about it. Don't miss out. Already, this thing is way too complicated to explain. So yeah, she's basically describing that for her directorial debut, or is this her directorial debut? I'm not 100% sure, actually. But anyways, the fact that she is going to be directing this movie, she ain't directing any ordinary animated film. She is directing an animated movie that will be fully funded by NFTs. And as you could probably imagine, the reception that she got was mostly negative. In fact, I could even say that almost everyone hated this. And it did cause some backlash, and a lot of people were expressing massive disappointment of the fact that Tara Strong is now getting involved with non-fungible tokens. And I mean, in this podcast, we have already discussed this several times about NFTs and the problems with them and the reason why it has been so hated and all that kind of stuff and the way that it can be so easily corrupted. And anyways, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. So yeah, she did get a lot of backlash because of her involvement with NFTs, and a lot of people really got disappointed by it, which is why moments later, or a few days later, or well, a day afterwards, or whatever, she actually went and made a response. She went and did an entire thread explaining the backlash and how she felt of the situation. And how she responded to this, I'm gonna let it speak for itself. So let's just read this thread right over here. So let me just go and read it right now. So here's what it said. Yesterday, I took a lot of abuse from internet trolls, so today, maybe from now on, I won't read mentions. It's sad because it's how I connect with fans in need and important causes. My first instinct was to say no to this project because I care so much about the environment. And then I sat down with Joel Cassidy, one of the band members of Walk Off the Earth, and he was the sweetest, most authentic human I've ever met. He is beyond motivated to change the NFT space and celebrate and highlight new artists, both visual and musical. If you've never heard of their music, and highly recommend you listen to Walk Off the Earth. They are magic. They despise corporate assholes and are devoted to do this better, and I believe in them. And Solano is better for the environment, in which she also put up a post explaining the environmental consciousness of Solana, in which it states here, the Solana network is designed to be a high-performance blockchain. These design decisions also mean the network is incredibly energy efficient. In this first of many reviews of the impact of the Solana ecosystem, the Solana Foundation can report that a transaction on Solana takes less energy than 2 Google searches and 24 times less energy than charging your phone. In May of 2021, the Solana Foundation contacted Robert Murphy, an energy and climate advisor, to help initially frame the environmental impact of transactions performed on the Solana Globe State machine. Transactions are the fundamental building block of Solana. Purchasing an NFT, making a trade, or other activities you can perform using Solana are all transactions. So let's go back to the thread that Tara Strong has here, in which she states, in which she says, it broke his heart yesterday to see the hate, but not his spirit. This movie is going to be adorable, and if you join the Discord, you might get a chance to be in it. You don't need to purchase anything. Just have an open mind and share their enthusiasm and share your art. I've raised millions of dollars on Twitter for various charities, and all the bullies who said they were disappointed in me don't really matter because they're the same folks yelling at me for not wanting animals to be abused and the same folks who don't think we need safer gun laws. If you want to join the Holidayverse party and see what's really going on, we'd love to have you. If you don't, that's okay too. But maybe stop with the hate so I could get back to reading your comments and helping folks every chance I can. Love you lots. Thanks for listening to my PSA. Oh boy, folks. Well, first of all, may I just say my initial comment to this response. Yeah, I'll get into why a little later, but I just want to go and make this statement right now. Like, I just want to say, when it comes to Tara Strong, of course, like many other people and like many animation fans, I really love her voice acting work. She is always a delight whenever she would go and voice her characters with a very versatile voice as well. Rather it be playing as Harley Quinn or as Bubbles or as Timmy Turner or as Dill Pickles or whatever, she is always fun. You can hear that she is having a great time when voice acting her characters. And you could definitely hear it as well. Like regardless if it's something like her early works like Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls, or even just as recently as being Miss Minute in Loki. So definitely a great talent. Always a blast whenever she would be voice acting. So whenever Tara Strong is included in a project, at least with her contribution, you know it's going to be fun. And that also, I will admit that Tara Strong is honestly one of my celebrity crushes. You know, not only is she a great talent, but she is also a beautiful woman. Like, oh my God, she is absolutely gorgeous. And like, I'm not gonna lie, there might be a few episodes where I might have maybe simped a little for her. I mean, like, you see some of the pictures that she got, and I mean, like, she's just a stunning woman with plenty with the pictures that she would go and post. It's like, wow. And she's one of the great examples of how I personally find that a lot of the hottest women in entertainment, they can actually be found in voice acting, believe it or not. When they're actually behind the mic, they can actually be quite beautiful. Rather it be Tara Strong or even Grey Griffin, there's a lot of beautiful women in the voice acting world. But anyways, all this to say that I am a fan of Tara Strong, and I am definitely an admirer of Tara Strong. But at the same time, I do know that she can have her flaws as well. And sometimes she can be a little too passionate sometimes. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I know that it is a trait that even I could relate to as well, where I could be passionate to a fault at times. And sometimes, and the thing is, in this day and age on the internet, sometimes you do have to be tough. Sometimes you really do have to be passionate. And like, you got to tell bullies and trolls and Trump supporters that they can go F off at times. You got to show a bit of an assertive side that you're not the type of person that you should be pushed around and stuff like that. Like, I get that. I do understand that. But sometimes she could be so to a fault where she doesn't necessarily understand what is trolling and bullying and what is legitimate criticism. And that can happen often where there are some people who do have genuine concerns and want to express criticism, and she would just pass it off as just trolling, and she would just tell those people to just simply F off. And it can happen where it can result into some very problematic feedback, or some very problematic responses, or like very problematic interactions as well. That is something that like, honestly, I do get that. And I will admit, I know that I've had my history with having that kind of attitude or that kind of response as well. And that is something that to this day that I'm still learning to grow from it, to try to learn when criticism is legitimate criticism and when it's the right time to just tell people that they should go F off. I get that. But with Tara Strong, she's probably one of the, she is one of those people that has yet to comprehend the difference between criticism and trolling. And that is honestly the case that we are seeing right over here with, especially with this response that she has, where she's full on defending herself in her position, defending NFTs, and pretty much saying that anyone who is not on her side, that they are basically that they're literally just trolls, and that they're the same people who like want to abuse animals and don't want gun laws as well. Like this is at the point where she really is demonizing the people who have criticized her. And this is where I definitely feel like it is just a step too far that she has done. And part of the reason why I want to go and really talk about this, where part of this is not necessarily about NFTs. It really is regarding Tara Strong's more problematic behavior, and that it does need to be called out a bit. And again, I love Tara Strong, but I do acknowledge that she's not necessarily perfect, and her problematic behavior is not something that I'm just going to go and let it slide. Like, yeah, just because she's a hot woman and that she has voiced a lot of characters that I enjoyed growing up, like Bubbles or Harley Quinn and stuff like that, that doesn't mean I'm going to say that what she's doing with NFTs or how she's responding to the backlash, that is not okay. That needs to be called out, especially with the fact that, and this is something that on social media, I actually did commented as well, is the fact that Tara Strong, if you guys don't know, she is a very passionate activist, a very passionate environmentalist is more what I wanted to say. And debatably, she's more of an environmentalist, kind of like with her behavior, she could be so to a fault, down to the point where she is at like literal PETA levels of activism. And yes, I am using literal correctly because she is actually a supporter of PETA. And not to mention that she also does have a bit of a history of being a bit of an anti-vaxxer and like being a supporter of alternative medicine. But then again, I don't know what her stance on vaccines are right now. I don't know if she is still an anti-vaxxer today. I don't know like if she has her vaccines and stuff like that. I don't know if this is something that she has confirmed, but yeah, it is true that she does have her history of being an anti-vaxxer. But then again, the evidence of it was like back in like 2018 and like way back in the 2010s and stuff like that. So I don't know if this is something that she still stands today. But anyways, back into her environmentalism aspect, like I actually did comment that I do find it honestly a little bit hypocritical of her to be involved with something that is what is currently very harmful to the environment, what is probably the biggest enemy of the environment, and especially with a major animal lover like Tara Strong herself, this is something that is destroying animals' homes. So why would you even go and be involved with NFTs in the first place? And again, just like what I talked about previous times with Vivi, I do understand that in this case here with Solana, that they want to be more of an environmentally friendly blockchain and be more of an environmentally friendly NFT company. But with the description that they have provided right here, I mean, yeah, maybe it's true that they're not consuming as much energy as much as like other NFT companies, but still, this is the same kind of comparison as like driving a hybrid. I mean, it's technically better for the environment, but it's still objectively superior to not be involved with it than to actually get yourself into it. And like, yeah, it's not as harmful, but it is still harmful. That and you know, that is kind of the major problem that I feel like Tara Strong is putting herself in, where again, it's pretty much hypocritical, where yeah, she's a strong and passionate environmentalist, but she's also getting involved with something that is very anti-environmental as NFTs. And honestly, I try to look into, I tried to do research. I try to look more into what is this holiday verse that they are talking about? What is the project that they are referring to in the first place with Ornamental? And I mean, I'm not going to go and bash it all together. I'm not going to say that, oh, because of its association with NFTs, this is objectively going to be terrible. This is going to be the next Emoji Movie. I'm not going to go and make that statement. I mean, who knows? Maybe Tara Strong is right about this. Maybe this could actually be a really enjoyable feature film. Maybe it is actually going to be cute. It is going to be charming and all that kind of stuff. But then I try to check the website, and I will give it credit that on the website, they are transparent in terms of what their plans are and what they want to do. And yes, they do mention about how basically this is going to be fully fueled by NFTs, that every frame will be an NFT that people could go and invest in. And what I find to be very interesting is actually if you go down, like right over here, they actually do have a roadmap. They actually do have a plan of what they want to do with this project, what they want to do in order to go and like show you the process of how this movie is going to be made. So it started out with this month in December, and they talked about the pre-launch, pre-minting the mints and releasing the mints itself, and then starting pre-production. And then you go into 2022, that's when they would go and discuss about, like being interactive on Discord, and then like talk about the development of the holiday verse and Ornamental and stuff like that. And then suddenly, what I find to be so shocking is when you go down to November of 2022. Apparently, next year in November of 2022, that's when Ornamental is going to have its premiere. So looking at this, that's when I looked at that's when I saw this whole plan and I was like, wait. Hold on a sec. Something does not sound right here. The fact that you're literally starting out in December of 2021 and then you're going to go and plan to complete it in November of 2022? Okay, there are a lot of red flags here. Like, something is up. Like, okay, I get it that there have been a history of animated films that they have been made in less than a year. Like Toy Story 2 is one of the most prominent examples of that. But even at that, though, whenever there is a movie that was made in less than a year, that was not planned out, though. Like, that wasn't actually part of the plan. Like, especially with Toy Story 2, they didn't go and plan out to, like, finalize everything, like, in less than a year. Like, this thing, this was premeditated. This was all planned out to be made in just 11 months. And that's where I feel like a lot of it just feels very suspicious. Not just on the fact that it's just going to be in 11 months that they're going to go and make this movie, but there is also the factor that they would go and this would be fully funded by non-fungible tokens. Like, they're not getting the finances themselves. They're asking the audience, they're asking the public to go and fully finance this through NFTs, by the way, not through like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, but through NFTs. And also, like, even with what Tara Strong was doing, like, asking her fans to go and like potentially be a voiceover role, like maybe they could have a chance to actually voice a character in her movie. Like, that is something that I feel is way too suspicious. Okay, so obviously you're not going to get the you're not going to get the union involved. This is not going to be a SAG-AFTRA project in which they're going to supervise to make sure that all the actors are paid and treated well. There's just so much about this that I feel like there's something off. And I'm not calling this a scam. Like, this isn't like Legends of Oz levels of a scam, but there's something about this that I feel like is just way too suspicious, that there's just something here that feels way too far off, that this really is a project that just cannot be trusted. And I don't know if this is something that Tara Strong is also being involved because she's in, because like she's in, in this whole scheme or something like that. But there's just, honestly, there are so many red flags with this production that I feel like I cannot trust this. I mean, it's like one of two things I feel like is definitely going to happen. It's either A, or actually three things. Either A, they do release it in November of 2022 and it's going to be a stupidly cheap film. B, it's not going to be released in November of 2022 and it's going to be stupidly delayed because they need a lot more time. Or C, or three, I lost track if I said either A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, but either way, three, this might not even happen at all. Like, they're just going to take, like, the people of Walk Off the Earth, they'll just take the money and they'll just run with it. I feel like it's one of those three possibilities that could legitimately happen. And honestly, when it comes to Tara Strong, in this case over here, I really want to go and give her the benefit of the doubt where she just doesn't really understand NFTs. It really is a case where she just doesn't really know better. She doesn't fully understand about some of the problems with NFTs, because the reason why most people hate NFTs in the first place, it's not just about the environmental aspect. There is layers upon layers upon layers upon layers about why NFTs are so hated and so revolted on the internet or even in real life in general. It's because, like, not just the environmentalism, but there is also the aspect of art theft, that it has a very prominent history of just stealing art. There's also grifting, the scams that are heavily involved with it. In fact, the foundation of NFTs is built on scams. And like, not even to mention like the intentions of it, it really is just to go and make money, and the lack of rules that are even attached to it. how the fact that there are no regulations, there are no laws that are attached to NFTs, and it really lets people go and do whatever they want, which again, that's why scams and grifters are pretty much the foundation of NFTs. And the moment that the government is going to come in and they will implement laws on crypto and NFTs, that's when it's going to be over. That's when the whole NFT fad is going to shut down for good because of those potential laws. And I mean, yeah, we did see the infrastructure bill that does have the alleged crypto tax, and hopefully that will be implemented soon to prove my theory correct on this. But still, though, going back to what I'm talking about here, in the case of Tara Strong, yeah, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt where, like, she just doesn't fully understand about NFTs and yeah, she probably has heard a lot of the positive side from the people from Walk Off the Earth, but she hasn't heard enough about the negative side of NFTs and why people have a passionate hatred for it to this day. And I think that's the one thing that Tara Strong needs. It's just a moment to listen to the other side, why people are giving her such a hard time over this situation. And I'm just going to say this right now. It's not because of Tara Strong that people hate this. You know, it's not because people hate Tara Strong why this is receiving so much backlash. It's because of NFTs. In fact, people love Tara Strong. Like, the people who are giving her a hard time, like, they are fans of Tara Strong. Yeah, maybe they're not like full-on loyal fans where they're going to follow her every step of the way, but these are fans of Tara Strong, and they're just upset because they don't want to see someone that they admire like Tara be associated with something that is as corrupted as NFTs. And I do understand that sentiment because I am one of those people. And I'm just going to go and say this right now, that I want to clarify that I am absolutely not one of those people that she is describing. I am not doing this because I am an internet troll. And also, like, the other aspects that she's just like demonizing the people who criticize her, I am not like that at all. And I can assure you that most, if not all, people against NFTs are not like that whatsoever. Like, I don't want to see animals being abused. Like, I'm not like an advocate where I want to go and abuse animals. That's definitely not on my character right there. And also, like, if you guys know me, then you know very well that I am a strong advocate for strict gun laws. America especially desperately needs strict gun laws, as strict as Japan's, to really make sure that they could solve a lot of problems that are currently happening in America right now, so that we could lessen the damage of mass shootings, and especially in school shootings. They need strict gun laws, and I want strict gun laws to feel safe in America. So this is just to say, just because I do not support what you're doing right now with this NFT project, that doesn't mean I'm just some internet troll who just wants to give you a hard time. And I'm going to say this right now. I know that I'm still considered like, a mid-sized to small YouTuber, that whatever I say, it's not really that relevant that big name celebrities like Tara Strong would listen. But I just want to say this right now, that as someone like Tara, if you ever do listen to this, I love you. And I really do admire your work for decades. But honestly, this whole project, I really do feel like you should get yourself out of this. It really is nothing but trouble. And I mean, yeah, this Joel guy, maybe he is a nice dude and like he's treating you very well with this, but he can't be trusted, especially with this whole NFT thing. This is something that you shouldn't get yourself involved. And we don't want to see you get yourself involved in a project that in the long run, I could assure you this will hurt you more than it will be more helpful. Because imagine if there is that possibility that this could be a project that could ultimately ruin your career. Like, who the hell would want to work with the Ornamental girl? There could be that potential risk. And honestly, we want to see you improve. We want to see you do better. And I mean, we are aware of the behavior that you may have that could be a little more problematic. And we really do wish that you could go and improve on it. So all I ask, I'm not saying, I am calling you out for all this, that you are in the wrong for associating yourself with NFTs and really demonizing your critics and stuff like that. But I want to help you. And all I ask is if you have the time to listen to the other side, listen to the people who are against NFTs, listen to what they have to say and why they are upset, why you are involved with this, because I can guarantee you those same people whom you claim to be internet trolls and stuff like that, they will be your fans and they will love you again if you disassociate yourself with NFTs and this project. And I mean, I get it that you're very much excited that you're not just going to be just a simple voice in this, that you're going to be directing. I understand, like, directing an animated feature is such an exciting process that you can't wait to go and really make your mark, like really make a big impact in your career with that. But still, though, there are other opportunities that you can have. And I mean, we would definitely be excited to see a Tara Strong directed movie, but not like this. Not with something that just sounds a bit like a scam, especially with something that is involved with something that is as destructive and harmful to not just the environment, but to people as well, such as NFTs. It's not the way to go. All I'm asking, Tara, is that you get out while you still can. Just disassociate yourself from the project, like completely cut ties with EDH Animation and walk off the earth, and find some other, if you really want to do directing, like find another project to go and do so. That's all I ask, Tara. I mean, you're a great talent. You're a beautiful woman. And honestly, you deserve better than to work on a project that is involved with NFTs, or that you would directly involve yourself with NFTs. That's all I'm asking on this. That's all that I want to go and say. Again, I highly doubt that Tara Strong would ever listen to this, but it's just, I just want to go and take the time to just take a moment to listen to what these people have to say. Listen to what the critics are saying and why it's probably for the best to disassociate yourself with NFTs. So that's honestly my piece that I would like to go and say on all this. And I would like to go and pass on to the chat wall. And I would like to go and ask you all, what do you think about the Tara Strong controversy? What do you all think about her association with NFTs? Are you on Tara's side where you really want to see what Ornamental is all about? Do you wish to see her disassociate with NFTs? Let me know what you think. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, Tara, honey, I really don't think she was trying to do harm, but my God, this is a bad idea. She had to have known what NFTs are when she announced, and how even the environmentally friendly NFTs aren't real. Tara, there are other ways. I really don't get why my teacher last spring thought talking positively about NFTs was a good idea. I knew it was sketchy. Tara, people are telling you that this is a bad idea because of the environment. They aren't trolls. Exactly. That's what we want to say. Honestly, this is something that really needed to be called out. When it comes to Tara Strong and her stance with environmentalism, it really seems that Tara Strong is basically being hypocritical in this case. Honestly, I hope Tara Strong needs to do research on NFTs and why they are harmful to the environment. I may love Tara Strong as a voice actress, and I love her as characters like Twilight Sparkle and Miss Minute, but I really don't want to see her become the next Butch Hardman. Yeah, that's also the big danger with her attitude. And keep in mind, I should know I was there and I was close to becoming that. But if she doesn't change her attitude right now, if she is still going to be stubborn and think that anybody who doesn't talk highly of her are trolls and stuff like that, she will become the next Butch Hardman, and her reputation, it's going to significantly drop. And yes, this will also affect her career as well. This is something that I really don't want to see Tara Strong become. Let's see what we got here. Tara Strong was one of my favorite voice actors in the animation field, especially when she voiced some of my childhood characters. I even got an autograph from her at the con in 2017 as well. But seeing her making a movie, which I congrat her for now becoming a filmmaker, that being funded by NFTs is a bad idea, especially how hypocritical she is despite supporting environmentalism. I love her, but this is a terrible plan she has chosen, and I can't support her because of this. Exactly, man. Like, this is something that Tara needs to listen, not just to me, but to the people in the chat wall as well. I love Tara's voice work, but this is just stupid. Tara Strong has certainly done dumb things in the past, and this is certainly one of the dumbest, and the whole attitude of, if you disagree with me, then you are a bad person, needs to disappear. All of these NFT news that we've had this week is honestly beginning to make me feel numb, so I can't even feel angry about this. If there is one good thing, however, the latest South Park special shows us exactly how to deal with NFT sellers. Oh my god, yes, that is so true. Who would have guessed that Trey Parker and Matt Stone, out of all people, would be completely opposed to NFTs? That feels like a godsend right over there. But yeah, that is true, because throughout the week, we have been getting like disappointing NFT news after disappointing NFT news, where we saw apparently apparently people running the Stan Lee social media account announced that there's going to be Stan Lee NFTs, that there's also going to be Dr. Seuss NFTs, and that there's also going to be Bob Ross NFTs through Funko. Like so many NFTs that are coming from people who would least likely go and sell NFTs, especially with freaking Dr. Seuss, which I feel like is such a hypocritical thing. Like, yeah, let's make NFTs based on the works of the author of the Lorax. What the fridge, man? So, like, if Tara Strong doesn't understand and doesn't see the backlash that, like, all these other companies that are selling NFTs are getting, then honestly, it's hard to really imagine, like, yeah, it's not going to look good for her. Like, she's going to fall in the same trap as everyone else who are selling NFTs anyways. I feel the same way as you, Matt. I love Tara Strong, and she is an amazing actress. I really love her voice acting, especially for Twilight. But when it comes to NFTs, I never really support that. It's true that she's too passionate about her job and that she went too far, and that's definitely not okay. Even though I did not support her controversial stuff, I still have a love and respect for Tara Strong and her excellent voice acting performance. I wish I could meet her one day. She looks beautiful indeed. Of course, we're not. And this whole criticism, like, the reason why I'm doing this is not because I hate Tara Strong. It's because I love her and I want to see her do better. That's the big reason why I want to do this. That's the big reason why I'm talking about it here. Let's see now. Scams and NFTs in a nutshell, to quote the Steve Miller Band, take the money and run. Seriously, Tara needs to cool down and realize that NFTs are harmful, and she needs to listen to the other side. Tara, buddy, you are better than this. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm going to read one more comment here before we cap this off. Let's see. First, Ansel Elgort, now Tara Strong. If it's so, who's next? Chris Pratt? This does make me question the backlash that justifies calling someone out for being someone bad, for something bad. Yeah. You know, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I could definitely see Chris Pratt selling NFTs. You know, honestly, I could, you know, with the kind of guy that Chris Pratt is, especially when he's the more problematic Christian that, like, he often, like, presents himself on social media, I would not be surprised if I see Chris Pratt, like, promoting crypto and stuff like that. Let's be honest, he would kind of be the guy that would sell NFTs. All right, but with that said and done, I believe that should do it for this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. Again, just a quick reminder that there will be no episode next week. We will all be taking a holiday break, and that I'm going to be coming back the week after for the top 5 animation news of 2021. So with all that said and done, I just want to go and say thank you all for joining me on this great adventure in 2021. And thank you all for the great support that you have been giving me over the years. It really is so heartfelt, and it really adds so much fuel to go and continue this podcast, to making videos, to keep doing what I love. You know, you guys are simply amazing, and I could not thank you enough. And hopefully we will continue this adventure in 2022. So with all that said and done, happy holidays, happy new year, and until next time, see you later, dudes.